when APS happened, like it was obviously a really traumatic thing for me, and
Yes.
plus losing my friends. And before this attack, I was really sensitive about my face, and the thing that it affected the most was my face. It affected my face a lot. So with mental health issues, with PTSD, you also develop that kind of inferiority complex at that time, and it adds to the pain. It's really scared to face the world. I was really scared to meet my friends or to meet people outside. I was like, I wanna continue my education because I had missed 2 years of my schooling, and that thought came into my mind because I myself had doubts in my mind that if I go there, would I be able to socialize? Imagine that it's been 2 years, you've never socialized with people, and all of a sudden you decide to talk to the whole school about your story. And the story you don't know. After a while, I used to think of it like this: what if I take revenge from them?
When you're in that critical situation, what goes through one's mind?
Yeah. I had written the speech, and I was thinking it, and I just ripped it. I was like, forget it.
Yeah.
Whatever it comes to my mind, I'm just gonna speak it out.
Thanks for coming on,
man. It's a pleasure and honor to be in here.
Nah, same for me, man. You inspire me. You're one of the bravest people I know, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me about you. How you coping with this COVID thing, and nowadays, like what's happening?
Man, it's been really hard for everyone recently, as we know what's happening around the world, the pandemic and these unprecedented situations that has struck us. But so far I was quite busy with my studies. Now I have my half term, so the studies kept me busy. And now you hang out with friends. I hang out with you guys a lot and things. So it's one of the things that keeps you busy and keeps you going.
Keeps you sane, man.
Yeah,
honestly,
mentally sane.
Keeps you sane. Like I remember when I initially went uni and I was on my own. The first like you get stuck when you're on your own and you get stuck in that circle of thoughts. Oh my God, it's horrible. Like, did you experience that? So initially, when you went through all that trauma and stuff, like you must have gone through a lot of loneliness. And how does to come out strong from that, that APS attack, and prior to that, how did you deal with that? Like the loneliness?
When APS happened, like it was obviously a really traumatic thing for me, and plus losing my friends and going through all that. So I had really bad PTSD, and I was going through it. Plus, you also get plus I was, as I said, before this attack, I was really sensitive about my face, and the thing that it affected the most was my face. It affected my face a lot. So with mental health issues, with PTSD, you also develop that kind of inferiority complex at that time, and it adds to the pain. And I was really scared to face the world. I was really scared to meet my friends or to meet people outside. And for a long period of time, I didn't socialize. It was partly it was due to because I was all the time in hospital. So not a lot of people were allowed to meet me. But part of also was it was my own choice because I didn't want it to meet people, and I was just too scared. There was this fear in my mind that what will they think of me and how would they react, and I was really scared of that reaction. That reaction would scare the hell out of me whenever I would think about it. And I was thinking all this time, I would think that what if someone's reaction is bad towards it, what if someone reacts in a way which can totally shatter me, we can totally shatter my confidence. And I already had lost a lot of confidence, but over the time, when you meet people, when I had mentors in between.
Yeah, you told me about that teacher. You told me that when you went to school, and she talked to you like nothing had changed, and that really, because when someone feels better for you, they kind of feel sympathy. That never helps. You get me?
That's true.
That makes you even more inferior.
That's
true. So, having that good circle, and in these kind of times, that's a game changer.
And all of us has difficulties in life, and the thing we do the worst, and I've experienced it myself, as we mentioned earlier, is sympathy, treating them differently. That's the thing that you can do worse to a person. You know, you're like, oh, poor soul, what have you done? You know, those kind of things. Although we think we are doing good, although we think we're showing human emotion, but at the same time we are discouraging that person. And you know, that's what discouraged me in the start, as I mentioned to you yesterday. And the thing that kept me going was my principal. When she came to meet me and she started talking to me normally, like nothing has happened.
She showed you empathy.
Yeah.
There's empathy. I've literally dust system, like sympathy out of my system.
Yeah.
Like, man, when has it ever helped? I can feel sorry for people in Africa that are starving. So what? That doesn't feed them. What will actually do a difference if I go and donate to a charity? Action. The strength you showed, the resilience, and later on, forgiveness, man. Where did that come from? Because I know initially you were like very pissed off, and very rightly you know, it's very justified anger. So how did you battle that?
You know, to be honest, forgiveness, that kind of stuff, like, you know, it was a whole process, you know, that I went through. Like, you know, first coming out of that PTSD, because you know, at the starting days, you know, as I said, that I had really bad PTSD. I had anger. I had anger. I wanted to, like, you know, have my revenge. It's natural as a human being. When someone hurts your loved ones, or when someone hurts you, you wanna give them back. You know,
your ego is hurt. Like you get me. Like my ego was hurt as well. I was like, how dare you attack my sister? And then you lost so many friends and things like that. And you know, just even accepting as a reality, like it must be, it's difficult. You like, when is this gonna end? Like, is this like a bad episode? Is this like a dream? And it never ends. And you're like, you know, like you were telling me that you had to accept, and that acceptance, like, where did that, you know, like these are virtues, like these are qualities. So how did these qualities develop? Was there someone that mentored you, or someone that maybe taught you in Pakistan? Like, where did these qualities and that resilience, where did it come from? Because that's what really astonishes me.
I think a lot of people, like, you know, as I said earlier, like when you're going through that process, a lot of people contributed to it. Like, you know, I have mentors. Like, one of them is Muniba Mazari, the other one is Ziauddin Yousafzai. And I think these two people, and my mother, like, you know, these three people have inspired me throughout my life, throughout this journey, and they have helped me a lot. Whenever I have a problem, whenever I'm facing a difficult situation, I always approach one of them. Like, these are my go-to people. And you know, learning from them, like they, you know, like Ziauddin Yousafzai, like, you know, as you know, that, you know, you guys have been through a lot with the Malala thing, like, you know, so, you know, you learn a lot from his experience as well, like, you know, the way he dealt with it. And then Muniba Mazari as well, plus she went through a lot in her life as well, so you learn from that. And then my mother as well with me, so personally she went through that phase. So, you know, you keep on learning from these people. And plus, you know, I always think of it like this, you know, after a while, I used to think of it like this: what if I take revenge from them? What if I go and kill, like, you know, kill them or kill their children? Tomorrow, their children will grow up and they will kill my children, and then my children will grow up.
It continues.
And then it continues for generations. So why not end it and educate their children, change it, kill their ideology, not kill them, kill their ideology.
That's beautiful.
You know, from my personal experience, I can tell you that, you know, when I went through all this, you know, all the incidents happened, the attack happened, my friends died, and I got severely injured. You know, there was a time when I wanted to go back to school, and my family members and even my doctors, they were like, no, like, you know, just wait for a while.
Why not?
Because they were like, it will affect you mentally, because like the thing happened in a school. So, you know,
was it the same school you wanted to go back to? Is this when you went Pakistan again?
No, I wanted to go to, like, here I wanted to go to a school. And in Pakistan I couldn't go to, because I said once that I want to go, but they wouldn't allow me out to go outside hospital, so I would be in hospital all the time. It was for some security reasons as well, but the thing was that when I wanted to go to a school here, so, you know, it was, they said, like, you know, just wait for a while, you know, you had your surgery recently, and
understandable, you know, they were
and the thing was that I contacted Ziauddin Yousafzai. I was like, I want to go to school. And he was like, yeah, well, at first he was a little surprised as well, but you know, I was like, I wanna continue my education because I had missed 2 years of my schooling. And that thought, like, you know, came into my mind because, you know, I myself had doubts in my mind that, you know, if I go there, would I be able to socialize? Because, you know, it had been like almost 2 years after incident that I hadn't socialized with anyone except for you guys. Like, you know, I only socialized with you.
I can fully relate to that because for 6 months when I moved, I didn't see anyone. Literally, I didn't meet a single person. I think maybe once or twice I met someone my age or someone older than, not my age, I don't think. I had no friends.
That's true.
Man, it's a scary experience, isn't it? And like, but the fact that you were, because I was kind of, like, I didn't want to go to school, but the fact that you decided that, okay, I missed 2 years, and, you know, that decision, going ahead with it, like, you took control, and that is truly inspiring. And your love for education also inspired me, man, in year 11 and year 10 time, because I had fallen out of love with it. And you know, it's, man, A levels, to be fair, it's a tough time, isn't it? It can make you really fall out.
Especially when you are studying for medicine.
It's a mental battering. Yeah.
This is you know, to be honest, like in school, as I was saying earlier, like the school, you know, your friends, they are the key part to it, you know, they contribute a lot.
So, I want to know, so how was the first couple of days like when you went in, like, was it, like, you know, you have all of these thoughts, all of these, you know, oh, what if this happens, what if that happens? When you went there, how was it like?
Oh my, it was, for the time being, for the first time, you know, I had all these doubts in my mind. I was like, what if these kids, like, you know, when I go to the school, what if they ask me about this and how I'm going to explain it to them, you know? What if they ask me what are these cars for? Like, you can't hide it, you know, you have to face it. And these things did bother me a little bit. And I think when I went there, the way the school accepted me, and it did took me a little time to settle in, but the way the school accepted me and the school staff members and the teachers, and when I made my friends, when I made friends, like, you know, there's a group of friends that I joined, and, you know, we met through a joke, you know. I was pretending to be a president, and I have this amazing group of people, my friends, you know, Archie, Callum, Nathan, Ben, Sasha, Amelia. You
shout out, she's sending all of the
shout out to all of them. But you know, I love them all. You know,
great people they make life beautiful, man.
They are amazing, and you know, they become like my and you as well. You know, I'm. Like, you know, you've been there since the start. You know, you've been my only friend since the start. No, so that was the thing, you know, here, that you've been my friend since the start. And so, you know, when you meet these friends, and, you know, I started enjoying it, but still there was this one barrier that, you know, the students that didn't know me, that kept asking me questions, that, you know, how did this happen? And, you know, you don't want to, there's a time you don't want to explain it to everyone, and it annoys you. So, you know, they weren't asking in a bad way. The thing that scared me the most is sympathy. You never want that. You know, although people who are giving you sympathy, they think they're doing you good. Nature, they're not doing it with a bad intention. But you know what it does is, when someone treats you differently, it really discourages you. You really feel like, oh, has something happened to me? Or has there been a change there? Like, you know, never.
It's petty. Like, don't like. That gives it makes you. It can make you feel inferior. Honestly,
So you know, I wanted to, like, tell them in one go, like, everyone, although it was a hard thing to do, and it's been 2 years, you know, imagine that, it's been 2 years, you've never socialized with people, and all of a sudden, you decide to talk to the whole school about your story, and the story you don't and the story you don't want to share with anyone, but all of a sudden you decide to do that.
Let me just take that in. Like, that's just like owning it. Like, yes, I'm a survivor, you know, like, man, that's incredible.
and then I
incredible,
contacted,
man.
you know, Ziauddin Yusufzai, and you know, he's been a mentor to me. I told you, whenever I'm in like thingy, like I always contact him. He's my go-to person.
I love him, man.
Yeah, I love him too. He's my go-to person. And I was like, I wanna. Can you please talk to my principal or my vice principal that I want to talk to the school, because I don't want to tell people individually my story, because that's kind of like, you know, getting on my head. So, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to be repeating the same thing over and over again. Yeah, I get that.
You know, in the starting days when I would tell my story, I would stop in the middle and I would start crying.
Yeah.
And now I can tell it without stopping. Yeah. So, you know, as I was saying that, you know, when he contacted my school and arranged an assembly, so at that night I was in a complete stress, and I was rehearsing in front of a mirror. I was like, how I'm going to communicate, and let's do this. But for a moment then I thought, I was like, no, forget about it, keep it natural. I don't want it to be scripted. I had written the speech, and I was thinking it, and I just ripped it. I was like, forget it. Whatever it comes to my mind, I'm just going to speak it out. And and I went to the assembly hall. It was full of students. And nervous. You know, it was the first time, like after 2 years, I was speaking to a group of public, and like, you know, these people, like, you know, and my legs were shaking. So I decided to stand behind the podium, so people don't see my legs. And I stood behind the podium, and at first I didn't decide to look at any of them. You know, I was like, just generally look straight and just think.
They literally look at the wall. One of those ones. Let it go.
Just think there is no one. And I started my story. I don't know how I started it. There was complete silence throughout this whole time. And I keep on going and going and going, and I didn't see any of them. And then my head was down when I was speaking, and I lift my head up and I lift my eyes up and I look up, and I look all these students and teachers crying and tears in their eyes, and I was like, whoa, what have I said? Does my speech? I didn't realize that, you know, this could have that much impact. And then they gave me a standing ovation, and then my teacher was like, amazing, it was the first time ever in our school that someone got a standing ovation. So and she was like, she told me as a joke, she was like, you should do an assembly every day, because they listen to you so silently. And oh my God, and after that everyone was hugging me and coming to me, and they were like, you are so brave and all that. And you know, that on that day I realized, you realize that, you know, actually the thing that I've been thinking was my weakness all those years, all those 2 years, the thing that I've been so scared of, it's actually my strength. It's my strength to inspire people, to motivate these people, and you know, that gave me a confidence boost, you know.
You know, like, I can't fathom losing my best friend, and anyone close to me that I love. And how you were telling me yesterday that some of your friends, close friends that passed away, it hasn't even, because you never went to the funeral and stuff like that, it's really hard for it to sink in. How are you doing with that now? Like, does it bother you now? Like, how is your mental health currently? After, how long has it been since the APS attack?
I think it's been almost 4 or 5 years, 5 years.
How are you doing now?
Or 6 years, something like that. But, you know, although my mental health has improved a little bit, you know, but you know, there is things that keeps you going and motivates you. The friends bit, as we were discussing yesterday, you know, when I lost some of my friends, I saw some of them that died in front of my eyes, but some of them I didn't see. And as I said, I was in hospital for a long period of time, for like 2 years. So I didn't get to see their funeral or you know, their bodies. So, you know, still till today, my mind isn't accepting that, you know, that they're no more with me. You know, it's a thing that, you know, when you don't see those things, you know, it's a funny thing that you don't really accept it, you know. I always imagine that, you know, when I'm gonna go back, they're gonna come the way they come back to me, and you know, we're gonna speak and talk, and I'm gonna see them. And you know, I was as you know, there was once in hospital, when I was in hospital, and one of my friend's brother, he came to meet me, and I asked him, it was his elder brother, and I asked him that, where is, his name is Uzair. I was like, where is Uzair? Why didn't he come? And I was like, why didn't he come? I was like, where is he? I mean, that guy has forgotten our friendship, or is he not, he doesn't care about me? And I got a little upset. I was like, why is he not coming to meet me? Like, you know, and he was like, oh no, he was a little busy, and I could see.
They didn't want to tell you.
Yeah, I could see his face went a little, like, you know, he felt a little uncomfortable, and you know, you could see that on his face. But at that time, I didn't realize what it was for. And then he went out.
Was this when you were in hospital?
Yeah.
Hey, but they didn't even. You told me they didn't even give you any newspaper, nothing.
Nah,
you had zero access, which is very good actually. I'm glad they did that, because when you go to stuff like that, like it's good to not.
They kept me away from social media. And I sneaked myself, you know, after 2 months, I was, you know, when there was no one with me in the room, usually I would have my mother and nurses with me in my room. And once there was no one in my room, and I was like, oh, let's log into Facebook. And I was like, let's see what happens. And my doctors, they were like, you are only allowed to watch movies or listen to songs, no social media. And, you know, they were like, you know, I was like, why aren't they allowing me? And they weren't telling me the reason. So, you know, it makes you more curious, and I was like, oh, let's try it now. And when I looked at it, and as I was talking about my friend's elder brother, when he came to meet me, that friend of mine, I saw his picture.
And is that how you found out then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he had died in the attack. And I was like, for a moment, I was gone into complete silence. And I remember that moment, you know, when I found out about my other friends. Then I saw my other friends, you know, their pictures, and they had died, one after another, and I started crying. And my mother came into the room. She rushed into the room, and she was like, why are you crying? What happened? And I was like, you guys lied to me. Like, you know, they have died. Why didn't you tell me? And I was crying, and my mother at that time was crying. But you know, at that time she told me something that I would never forget. She told me that, you know, what would happen if you cry now? Will your friends come back? And I was like, no. She was like, it's better, rather than crying, you get well soon, get up and do something for them. Do something that people never forget them.
Wow, your mom is incredible, man. Oh, wow, yeah.
So that, you know, those kind of things really contributes to your thing.
Yeah, because if in those kind of moments when people around you crumble, you crumble with them.
It's really hard, you know, and I think my family has been really strong. To my sister, my mother, they have been really strong throughout this journey. You know, there were times where, you know, where I could see them, where I could feel that, you know, they are about to cry. There was tears in their eyes, but they would somehow control themselves. You know, like the moment I remember when I saw my mother and my sister for the first time. And when I wake up, because I was in coma for 8 days, and I woke up from that, and I saw them, and it was the most emotional moment for me. I never imagined that I would see them again, and I was crying. And
I'm tearing up. You make me,
I was crying, and I was thinking that, you know, and I couldn't speak at that time. I was really like, because I had tracheostomy done, and my mother tells me at that time that, oh, you had an accident on a bike. She was trying to divert my attention. She was like, you had an accident on a bike. And I was like, no, I did this with my hand. I was like, they shot me. And my doctors was like, oh, he remembers. He hasn't lost his memory. Don't say. And then my mother, she had tears in her eyes. She couldn't kiss me. She couldn't hug me at that time because no one was allowed to. I had injuries like that. So she held my hand, and I held her hand so tightly. And for a while, you know, I don't know how she went through that time. She controlled herself so much, and I could see tears, like, you know, in her eyes, but she wasn't like pouring them down. And then my sister, like, she was standing by my side, and, you know, she was just annoying me, and she was like, oh, you know how sister and brother rattle, and she was like, oh, what are you doing, and oh, come on, get up, and you're just acting and all that. She was just trying to change my mood and all that.
She was still being a sister with you. And That is quite incredible. But when you're in that critical situation, what goes through one's mind? Yeah.
You know, it was two kind of feelings. One was I was being grateful for being alive.
Oh wow.
I was grateful. I was happy.
Yeah.
The other one was sadness, pain, you know, and all those memories and you know that pain, you know, and you are happy at the same time you are sad. You're happy to be alive, you're sad to have witnessed all that and to be still like, you know, like feeling that. So it's both ways, it's both kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And you know, and it really complements each other, you know.
Yeah.
It really balances out.
But there's a lot to work on. We have great opportunities, and inshallah we'll execute on them. We'll do
Inshallah.
incredible stuff. And man, it was incredible to speak to you as always. I learned a lot from you, and
Same here, man.
yeah, I'm excited for the future because man, inshallah you're gonna be doing great things in future. I can't wait.
You know, I just want to say that, you know, I have personally witnessed you and the way you have progressed over the years. And you have inspired me the way you've had a few setbacks and the way you've come across them and the way you have faced them and where you are now. You know, it really gives me hope and really makes me proud that, you know, and you have started this incredible podcast and you're doing a great job and spreading this amazing message, like, you know, through your work to young people and inspire them, trying to motivate them. So I guess you're doing a great job, and I hope you get more and more success in this. And
man, it means a lot.
It was a pleasure. You know, it was amazing seeing you. You know.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Anything else you want to say? Actually, his Instagram, everything will be in the comment and stuff. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
And please subscribe.
Thank you. Take care.